Season Pass, sponsored by City National Bank, starts now.
Good evening and welcome into Season Pass Week 13. I'm your host, Brian Cunningham. The next half hour, a full recap from the area round of the 2024 high school football season with highlights and scores from across the Concho Valley. Plus, we're going to check in on Angelo State Athletics for their championship weekend, as well as a look around the country at what is making top sports headlines from this past week. Area round started this past week, and at the end of the show, I'm going to have a full list of those Concho Valley regional semifinal games and locations. And we're going to start with the 4th-ranked Wall Hawks. Wall Hawks faced off against Childress Bobcats for the second round area matchup, and it was all Hawks all game. 49-14. Wall is now 11-1 on the season, and the Hawks will face Littlefield in the regional semifinals next Friday, November 29th, 1 p.m. in Sweetwater. The number 7 ranked Mason Punchers played Weimar in a Class 2A Division I matchup for the area round Friday night in Georgetown, and the Punchers win big in this one, 56-28, winners of 11 straight. 11-1 Mason is going to face off against Marlin next week for the regional semis Friday, November 29th, 7 p.m. at John Gupton Stadium. The 10-ranked Junction Eagles faced the Fall City Beavers in the area round for the Class 2A matchup in Hondo. The Eagles, after a close game at 14-13, would score 3 unanswered scores to win 35-13 and move on to the regional semifinals versus Somerville next week, Friday, November 29th at Pflugerville. Blackwell on the road against top-ranked Jayton in this area round matchup that was all Jaybirds all game last Thursday night. A tough loss for Blackwell to end their season after a 60-8 loss. The Hornets finished 5-7 on the season, winners of 3 straight for their second round exit. Menard entered the area round last Thursday night, winners of 9 straight games and on the road versus Gordon, and it was a tough loss for them as well versus the Yellow Jackets. For the Yellow Jackets, a 48-0 shutout. A tough way to end their season, but a successful season nonetheless. Hats off to the Yellow Jackets. And here are those highlights. Third quarter, Water Valley up big. Knox City working from deep in their own territory. Quick pass from J.C. Utley, but the Wildcat defense in this one would meet him in the end zone for the safety. Next Water Valley possession, the Wildcats give it right back. Xander Abela there for the pick. Greyhounds ball at this point. Later on, Knox City looking for some magic, but Landon Lacey says not tonight, coming up with the interception, taking back deep in the heart of the Knox City territory. This would lead to another Water Valley touchdown, and it was all Water Valley. 56-0 Wildcats face Westbrook next week in Garden City, 6 p.m. November 29th for the regional semifinals. Coming up next on Season Pass, fall sports are starting to come to a close, so it's basketball season in the Concho Valley, so we're going to have some of those latest scores and highlights from boys basketball when the Season Pass returns. Don't go anywhere. Winter is almost here, so the basketball season must be underway in the Concho Valley. And as always, we're going to start things with Central, who faced Abilene High this past Tuesday. Bobcats enter this matchup 2-1, scoring almost 60 points per game, facing a 3-1 Eagles team. Bobcats would take this one in a close game, 68-61, improving to 3-1 on the season. And the Bobcats would be at Greenwood this Monday, 1:30 p.m. A few free throws to start this one off as Lakeview was set to face off against Abilene Cooper in this one. Lakeview with the possession here, a nice spin in to finish this one in the basket as Abilene would fall to Lakeview in this one. Another quick layup here for the Chiefs. Braylon White, Marcus Finch with the easy score this time. Chiefs in a tough battle in this one. And Cooper with the rebound here, stolen by the Chiefs. Nick Leva, who gets fouled hard in this one. Lakeview would drop this game, moving to 2-3 on the season. And at home versus Ballinger Monday afternoon. A Concho Valley matchup, Wall 1-0 Junction starting their season Tuesday night. Inbounded from the baseline, a dish outside, and it's a 3-ball to extend the lead early in this one for the Wall Hawks. Eagles with the ball this time, top of the key, swinging one more pass, and it's going to be a corner 3. He's got this one. Tie game early in the first, though. The rebound by the Hawks would be dished back out to the corner. He's going to fake this one, drive in, and the Hawks are going to take the 2-point lead. Hawks inbounding a few possessions later, 23 downhill driving, and the two-hand slam brings the gym to his feet. Hawks tie this one before the first. Final score, 44-30. Brady taking on Comanche in this matchup. The Bulldogs winning in dramatic fashion in this double OT game. The Indians with only 6 total overtime points drop in this one. The Bulldogs opening their season with a win. Next game is this Tuesday, hosting Ballinger at 6 p.m. Concho Valley matchup in this game, Christoval hosting Miles. This past Friday, the Bulldogs would walk away with this win 58-38, improving to 1-0 on the season. And the Cougars 1-3 after the weekend. Miles hosting Blackwell Monday afternoon. Christoval at home versus Rankin. Sonora facing Harper in this matchup to start their season. A tough loss for the Broncos as their top scorers went for both 12 and 14, both shooting over 45%. The Broncos now 0-1 on the season, and at home Monday afternoon versus Ingram. Juan Castillo was the one with 45%. Evan with 57% shooting. Coming up next on Season Pass, girls high school basketball is next just before our Angelo State coverage. Don't go anywhere. This is Season Pass. Welcome back in. Boys basketball is done, so it's over to the girls now. Central Lady Cats season officially underway as they faced against Wiley this past week. 1-6 entering this matchup. The Lady Cats were the District 2 6A co-champs last season. Angelique Woodson was promoted to the head coach this year, and here are those highlights. Third quarter action, Gibson shakes off a Wiley defender for the layup, and Huron grabs an offensive board, puts up a shot to make it 23-10 at the 6:01 mark in the third. Lady Cats Howell goes to it after the stripe, getting fouled, and nails this one. 25-11 Wiley at this point. And with time winding down in the third quarter, Central's Carson Scott kicks it out to Sophie Hernandez, who misses a shot from long range. And Scott steps back in for a three-point attempt, almost goes in before Addison Gonzalez hits the three. Central was down 36-20 after three. Wiley wins 50-32. Central is now 1-7. Wiley moves to 6-0. A Concho Valley matchup in this one, Lakeview facing Sterling City. Chiefs with the possession, moving the ball around and finishing with some paints points here. The Eagles responding with an easy layup on this play themselves. The Eagles trapping here, the pass reset, top of the key, and the walk-up three is going to be all money. Lakeview cruising early in this one, few possessions later, and Lakeview is going to be sealing the and one shot here. Lakeview would go on to lose this game, though, 36-24, moving to 1-5 on the year and on the road at Sonora Monday morning. While basketball season underway now, the Lady Hawks entered this matchup 2-2 on the season, playing host to Liberty. The Hawks stay perfect at home, 2-0 now after the 54-49 win. The Hawks on the road Monday at Decatur. Bulldog girls basketball underway. The Bulldogs enter this matchup 1-3 on the season, looking to regain some momentum. And after a 40-26 win, the Bulldogs will improve to 2-3 on the season, and they play at home for the next game versus Blackwell. Coming up next on Season Pass, Angelo State Fall Sports continue extending their schedules with football playoffs in the regional volleyball tournament in town. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Season Pass. Welcome back into Season Pass. Angelo State on Saturday entered round one of the NCAA Division II playoffs, hosting Bemidji State in the Rams' third playoff appearance in the past 4 seasons. Rams finished perfect in the Lone Star Conference play, a perfect 9-0, and Lone Star Conference champs now in the big dance, playing host to the Beavers. After a few stalled drives, a BSU punt return for 60 yards would set up the Beavers inside the Rams' 5-yard line for the easy go-ahead touchdown, 7-0 Beavers. At this point in the contest, Rams would flip the momentum here with a blocked punt. This one would fool me. Setting up the easy touchdown run by Alex Wyatt, the Rams would bring this one 7-all at this point in the contest, and the Beavers would answer back after a solid drive ending in 6, 14-7 lead BSU with 3 minutes to go in the second. And after a scoreless third for both and a fourth quarter field goal by BSU, Rams looking to score. Fuller's on the move, finds Corey Sandoff for 6. Beavers still ahead 17-14 at this point, and the Rams drive for the final. Fuller would be sacked to turn it over on downs. 2 minutes to go in the game, and unfortunately the Beavers would have the dagger here, the 59-yard run. Final score 24-14 in this tough loss to end their season. The Rams finished their season 9-3 on the year, finishing a perfect 9-0 in conference play to clinch their second Lone Star Conference title in the past 3 seasons. The Rams collected 30 LSC postseason honors. And with those 30 postseason honors, some of the most notable: Offensive Player of the Year, Braden Fuller; Andrew Pitts, Defensive Back of the Year; Owen Seaver, D-Line of the Year; Eric Rasco, Co-Linebacker of the Year; and of course, the Coach of the Year, Jeff Gersh. 24 all-conference honors, including 14 first-team all-conference selections, 6 on offense, 8 on defense. Switching over to the court now, ASU men's basketball regular season home opener against Arlington Baptist was this past Tuesday. Rams were 1-1 entering that game against the Patriots, who were 1-3. Caden Evans with the handles to start, sets it back up top. Carvel's going to swing this one back to Caden for the 3 for the easy bucket. Defense is going to be getting involved. This time a bad pass is going to be forced, and Sterling Gaston Chapman, SGC, with the full court finish, puts the lead to 34-17 first half, continuing to wind down. But a few possessions later, Rams with the missed shot. But DeMonte Woods with the pure hustle play here sends the ball back up top. Not sure how. And Shamar Smith goes downhill, draws the and one, but Smith would miss the ensuing free throw. SGC with the re. Back to Smith driving downhill, trading 1 for 2, 38-17 for ASU. At this point in the contest, the Rams had 55 first-half points, almost totaling the Patriots' total points in this entire contest. Final score 101-58. ASU on the road at UTPB next. Men and women both at UTPB for this weekend to start Lone Star Conference play against the Falcons. The Rams shot nearly 42%, but struggled from 3, shooting only 27% as they fall in this 3-point contest to start conference play 0-1. The Rams back at home next Saturday, hosting Southern Arkansas at 3 p.m. Switching to the ladies hoops, who hosted their regular season home opener this past Thursday night. Angelo State women's hosted Adams State in their home opener Thursday at the Janelle Center to kick off their home inaugural play. Second quarter action, ASU's Malik Escobar connects on a 3, 17-15 Adams State at this point. But later in the second, Kanaya Williams pulls up a jumper here, but it falls just short. Bell's trying to find the footing a little bit in this one. 3:36 mark at the second. ASU's Addie Burns passes to Maddie Stevens, the leading scorer of the first 2 matchups, who makes a layup to get the Bells within 22-21. Bells trying desperately to take the lead before half. Haley Flores dials the long-distance 3, but it won't fall. And the Maddie Stevens shot can't find the basket for ASU. ASU's Peyton Stellato makes her second free throw. Bells would trail this one 33-27 at half. Bells fought hard, but would suffer their first loss of the season, 59-57. The Bells, just like the Rams, were also at the Falcons playing for their first game of Lone Star Conference play. The Falcons would go on a 12-0 run before the Bells finally got on the board with just a few minutes to go in the first. And after a hard-fought game, ASU with 3 minutes to go would go on a 13-0 run, 52-59 at this point. But the comeback would fall just short. Rams 2-2 on the year, starting LSC play and back on the road Tuesday against South Nazarene. Over to soccer now for yet another tournament. The Rams took on DBU for the 3rd time this season, having won the regular season matchup in last week's Lone Star clinching title game. The Concho Valley in for another Rams Patriots dramatic game at the LeGrand Complex. And Sinai is going to start this one off, tossing this one in. Gets it back. She's going to drop her opponent with this move here. She's going to send it over with the cross to Abby James. Abby is going to miss just wide on this shot. ASU with 18 total shots in this one to DBU's 8. Grace Jordan dribbling. She's going to take this one wide left on this attempt. We had no score at this half in just dramatic fashion, but we're going to jump ahead now. Time winding down in the second half. James with the long shot attempt here just high. But this is going to be a second week in a row that this game would need overtime, but 30 seconds in extra time, and the Rams' Grace Jordan ices this one, sending the Patriots home. The fans would be on their feet celebrating the Bells' 1-0 win, advancing to face the Colorado School of Mines. And we caught up with head coach Travis McCorkle, Harper Saxon, and the hero Grace Jordan after the game and after advancing to the regional final for the first time in the school history.
They bought in. They didn't just stop and say, no, we're not going to do this. I really feel grateful that they trusted me enough to say, let's try it. Let's do what they're asking, what the staff is asking them to do. And they've bought in, and that buy-in has made the difference for us. But, yeah, I mean, you have to say this is one of the best ASU soccer teams of all time. They're in the 3rd round. They've already won 2 trophies. You know, if Mesa can come and get that win, maybe we host that game. But You know, there's just so many great things that this team has done. It has to be in the conversation for the best ever ASU soccer team. One of the best, if not the best. Has to be.
And staying with the ladies, but over to volleyball now. The Bells were on the road for the Lone Star Conference tourney in the championship game against a familiar foe as well, West Texas A&M, having met twice already in the series, splitting 1-1. Winner takes the Lone Star Conference title. The third matchup for these two teams on the season. Extra points needed for the first two sets in this one as the Bells and Buffs split the first set each before the Bells take the third set up 2-1 through 3. ASU with a slight lead through 4 sets before the Buffs came back to bring it within 1 point, 18-17 in set 4. But with the fourth set winding down, ASU would score 2 of the final 3 points to win the match, 3-1, and now your official Lone Star Conference champions for the 2024 regular season. We now send it over to Dallas Cowboys insider Mickey Spagnola for his post-game coverage for the Cowboys versus Commanders game earlier today. Mickey?
No starting quarterback, no starting guards, no starting corner, and the other starting corner was playing for the first time this year. And really, after losing 5 consecutive games and double-digit underdogs going into this one here at Northwest Stadium, the Cowboys probably had no hope. But hey, these are your young, clawing, scratching Dallas Cowboys. No problem. Cowboys 34, Commanders 26. And take that for all those who wanted the Cowboys to basically give up. Take that for all the people that thought these Commanders had made a huge turnaround in their organization going into this game, and now they've lost 3 straight. Pats on the back for the defense that really stood up. Pats on the back for the offensive line. At times they were playing with 3 backups on that offensive line. And big pats on the back, and I bet you want to give Cavante Turpin a big hug after he bombled the kickoff and then picked it up and went 99 yards for a touchdown that gave the Cowboys the lead near the end of the game. And for a change, the Cowboys got some ball luck. The Commanders missed what would have been a game-tying extra point, and then the Cowboys were able to put it away by recovering an onside kick, Wanye Thomas taking it for a touchdown. For the Silver Star Nation, I'm Mickey Spagnola here in Landover, Maryland at Northwest Stadium.
Coming up next on Season Pass, the NFL has had a recent crime spree targeting current players in crimes such as burglary and theft. And the Women's National Soccer League final is just around the corner. I'll have those stories when we return. Thank you for coming back into Season Pass. The NFL has had a recent crime spree targeting current players in crimes such as burglary and theft. Here's that story.
The NFL has issued a security alert to players and team directors like the Chiefs because a South American crime syndicate may be waiting for teams to go on the road and then they break into their homes and steal valuables.
I think when I first heard it, I thought it had to be somebody kind of sophisticated because it seemed like the houses would have a lot of security.
That has to be stopped. Hopefully the FBI can catch them.
A report released by NFL.com said the crime wave is being investigated by the FBI, but when we reached out to them, they couldn't deny or confirm the investigation.
Normally, it's just a break-in. That's not a federal crime. But if a syndicate is involved and it's an international syndicate, then the FBI would have jurisdiction to investigate it.
Retired FBI agent Jeff Lanza explained that these crimes are based on opportunity, and the NFL report points out they are organized. They use surveillance, watch social media, and wait until the homes are empty, especially on game day.
You got 53 players on each team, plus the coaches. They're not going to be at their house. Now, if there's nobody at the house at all, that gives the criminals the opportunity. Now, luckily, we haven't seen any violence there. They haven't gone into houses where there have been people there and confronted them. So that's a good thing. We know maybe it's not a violent group. They're just looking for the goods.
So what can we learn from this? First, lock up your valuables when you're not at home. Don't post to social media when you're out of town, like if you were to go to North Carolina for the game this weekend, and invest in a security system. Reporting from Arrowhead, Ryan Hennessy, KSAN-TV 5.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship is underway. Here's that coverage.
It looks spectacular.
Looks really good. Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Pristine shape for Saturday.
KC Current co-owners Chris and Angie Long may still be feeling the sting of their near miss in the semifinals. But showing off their new stadium is also quite the win.
What does it mean to have the championship game here?
I think it's amazing. It's still a great opportunity to show our city, a first-class championship.
The NWSL Championship features the top 2 teams from the regular season, the Orlando Pride and Washington Spirit. Star forwards Marta and Trinity Rodman headline the anticipated matchup being played on a meticulously cared-for patch of grass.
It's called the beautiful game for many, many reasons, one of which is, the pitch is supposed to be beautiful.
An underground heat system to help when the temperatures dip, a vacuum system to help in the rain, and LED grow lamps to keep grass, growing throughout.
What is it like to call this stadium home?
It's pretty special. It is a special environment to be in, especially being a former athlete.
Vera Emma is the sports field manager at the stadium. She's also the leader of the all-female grounds crew working the championship match, a first in league history.
It's an honor. It's an absolute honor to, one, have the championship here, but also to be part of something so special. We want to be the first ever, and we want to just continue to pave that way moving forward.
As you can see behind me, those grow lights are currently on, keeping the grass pristine for Saturday's championship matchup between the Pride and the Spirit. Dana Jacobson, CBS News, Kansas City.
Thank you for watching Season Pass, sponsored by City National Bank. For more in-depth stories, scores, and highlights, head to ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Today's stories, visit ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Closed captioning for the hearing impaired is sponsored by the Law Office of Rick DeHoyas.